When Klay Thompson gets hot, he becomes one of the most unstoppable forces in NBA history. He holds the NBA record for the most points in a single quarter, 37, and he once scored 60 points in under 30 minutes. But before he became a scoring machine, Klay's journey began with a winning genetic hand and relentless work ethic. His mother, Julie, was a collegiate star in track and volleyball. His father, Michael Thompson, was the #1 overall pick in the 1978 NBA draft. Growing up around the game, Klay was quiet, focused, and obsessed with shooting, a habit that would eventually define his legacy. In high school, he played alongside Kevin Love and turned heads with his elite shooting. Top schools like Michigan and Notre Dame recruited him, but Klay wasn't sold. They couldn't guarantee him a starting spot. He wanted to earn it on the court, not sit and wait. During a visit to Washington State, Klay showed up in socks and sandals, casually drained 26 threes in a row from NBA range, and left everyone speechless. That was enough. He committed on the spot. At Washington State, Klay became a starter as a freshman and never looked back. He avoided the party life and lived in the gym, grinding every day. By his junior year, he was breaking school scoring records and leading the pack, 10 in points. The NBA couldn't ignore him anymore. In 2011, after a quiet but dominant college career, Klay entered the stacked NBA draft class. During his pre-draft interview with the Warriors, they asked what he did for fun. Klay simply replied, "I like to shoot." That answer was enough. With the 11th pick in the 2011 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors selected Klay Thompson from Washington State. The kid who loved to shoot was now in the NBA and ready to prove he belonged. Klay Thompson's NBA journey started in 2011 when he was drafted 11th overall by the Golden State Warriors. But he wasn't thrilled. As a lifelong Lakers fan, joining a struggling franchise with only one playoff appearance in 18 seasons didn't feel like a dream come true. But all that was about to change, not just for the Warriors, but for Klay Thompson himself. From day one, Klay stood out. His outside shooting was undeniable, and he quickly gained the trust of head coach Mark Jackson. Quiet and reserved, he kept himself during his rookie year, to the point where he barely spoke to Steph and Curry at all. "I don't think me and Steph said a word to each other the first year," Klay later admitted. Still, the chemistry was building where it mattered, on the court. By the end of his rookie season, Thompson was averaging 12.5 points per game on 41% from three, earning NBA All-Rookie First-Team honors. But he wasn't satisfied. That summer, while most players were resting or partying, Klay spent the entire offseason in the gym, dedicating an entire month just to defense. He didn't want to be seen as just a shooter. He wanted to be a complete player. And the results showed. In the 2012-13 season, Klay's scoring rose to 16 points per game, and he knocked down over 200 threes, a mark he would hit 7 more times in his career. Only 41 players in NBA history have ever done that, and only Stephen Curry has done it more than Klay. That season, Golden State started to turn a corner. With a healthy Steph Curry, the arrival of Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes, and solid rim protection from Andrew Bogut, the Warriors won 47 games and made the playoffs. And by then, the Splash Brothers were born. In January 2013, after Klay dropped a season-high 32 points against the Cavaliers, coach Mark Jackson made a bold claim. They are the greatest shooting backcourt to ever play the game. At the time, it sounded ridiculous, but he was right. Klay and Steph combined for 483 threes that season, the most ever by a duo in a single year. Then came the playoffs, and Klay proved he wasn't just a regular season shooter. His efficiency actually improved under pressure. In Game 2 of the second round against the San Antonio Spurs, he scored a career-high 34 points on 8-4-9 shooting from three. The moment wasn't too big for him, and that would become a theme in his career. Despite losing that series to the eventual champions, the Warriors were on the rise, and so was Klay. By the 2013-14 season, his scoring climbed again to 18 points per game, and he was becoming known not just for his dead-eye shooting but also for his elite perimeter defense. Golden State finished with 51 wins, their best record since the early 90s, but lost a heartbreaking first-round series to the Clippers in 7 games. After that, the Warriors made a pivotal decision. They fired Mark Jackson and hired Steve Kerr, setting the stage for a historic transformation. What came next wasn't just a breakout, it was a basketball revolution. And at the heart of it was Klay Thompson, the silent assassin, finally stepping into his prime. When Steve Kerr took over as head coach of the Golden State Warriors in 2014, he didn't just inherit a promising young team, he unleashed a revolution. He took the foundation laid by Mark Jackson and elevated it with a faster pace, more ball movement, and a relentless focus on spacing. And at the core of this new philosophy were 2 players who could light up a scoreboard from anywhere, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers. In Kerr's system, Klay thrived like never before. The off-ball motion, constant screening, and quick decision-making played right into his strengths. He didn't need to dominate the ball, he just needed a sliver of daylight. And once he caught fire, there was no putting it out. The 2014-15 season was a breakout in every sense. The Warriors won a franchise record 67 games, had the best defense in the league, and the second-best offense. Their net rating of plus 10.2 ranked as one of the best in NBA history. Klay averaged over 21 points per game, made his first All-Star appearance, and nearly joined the elusive 50-40-90 shooting club. Then, on January 23, 2015, Klay had the greatest heat check moment the NBA has ever seen. Against the Sacramento Kings, he scored a career-high 52 points. But it wasn't the total that stunned the world. It was the way he did it. In the third quarter alone, he scored 37 points, going 13 for 13 from the field and 9 for 9 from 3, all in 12 minutes. It was the most points ever scored in a single quarter in NBA history. He looked like a video game glitch, unstoppable, automatic, and unreal. The Warriors cruised through the playoffs and reached the NBA Finals for the first time in 40 years. Though Klay didn't dominate the finals statistically, he was still the second-best player on a championship team, averaging 19 points per game throughout the postseason and playing elite perimeter defense. But that was only the beginning. In the 2015-16 season, the Warriors somehow got better. They won 73 games, breaking the all-time single-season win record held by the 1996 Bulls. Klay once again upped his scoring, added new tools to his offensive game, and continued to be a lockdown defender. He became more than a catch-and-shoot sniper. He started scoring off the dribble, attacking closeouts, posting up, and even creating for teammates. But the most iconic moment of that year, and possibly his career, came in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors were down 3-2 to the Oklahoma City Thunder, facing elimination. On the road, in a hostile environment. And then Klay Thompson entered another dimension. He scored 41 points and hit an NBA playoff record 11 three-pointers. His shooting was outrageous. Pulling up from 30 feet, contested, off screens, fading, it didn't matter. Every time the Thunder threatened to pull away, Klay answered. That performance saved the Warriors' season and earned him the nickname, Game 6 Klay. Golden State went on to win Game 7 and return to the finals. But this time, things didn't go as planned. After taking a 3-1 lead against LeBron James and the Cavaliers, the Warriors lost Draymond Green to a suspension, and the momentum shifted. Cleveland came back to win the series in 7 games. It was a devastating loss, one that ended what could have been the greatest season in NBA history. Yet, that loss opened the door to something even bigger, Kevin Durant. Durant joined the Warriors in the summer of 2016, forming one of the most talented rosters the league has ever seen. And despite the arrival of another MVP-caliber player, Klay never wavered. He didn't complain about touches or minutes. In fact, he posted the highest scoring average of his career during the 2016-17 regular season, 22.3 points per game. Then, on December 5, 2016, he gave us another Klay classic. Against the Pacers, he dropped 60 points in just 29 minutes. The most mind-blowing stat? He only dribbled the ball 14 times. He had possession for just 90 total seconds. It was the purest display of catch-and-shoot brilliance in NBA history, and it proved once again why Klay was so special. He didn't need the ball to dominate. Even though he struggled shooting in the 2017 playoffs, his defense never dipped. He took on the toughest backcourt assignments, Damian Lillard, Patty Mills, Kyrie Irving, and made life miserable for all of them. The Warriors went 16-1 in the playoffs, capturing their second title in 3 years. In 2018, Klay and the Warriors did it again. Another All-Star appearance for him. Another championship for the team. He was consistent, reliable, and unshakable. And even in a stacked lineup, Klay never tried to steal the spotlight. He simply did his job, and did it better than almost anyone in history. After years of dominance, Klay Thompson's career was sailing at full speed. Multiple All-Star appearances, 3 championships, historic shooting records, and a reputation as the league's best two-way guard. But even the strongest foundations can be shaken. In Game 6 of the 2019 NBA Finals against the Toronto Raptors, disaster struck. Klay, who was having an incredible game with 30 points through 3 quarters, went up for a dunk and landed awkwardly. He tore his ACL. The Warriors' dynasty fell apart in real time. Despite being in excruciating pain, Klay famously tried to return to the court just minutes later to shoot free throws, the ultimate display of toughness. But his night and season were over. Golden State would lose the finals, and Klay would face a long road to recovery. He missed the entire 2019-2020 season, working tirelessly behind the scenes to rehab his knee. But just when it seemed he was close to a return, tragedy struck again, this time during a pickup game in Los Angeles. Klay tore his Achilles tendon, the second worst injury an NBA player can suffer, and he did it less than 18 months after tearing his ACL. Two catastrophic injuries, back-to-back. For a player whose game depended on movement, balance, and defensive agility, many doubted if he'd ever be the same. For 941 days, Klay was off an NBA court, almost 3 full years. And yet, he never gave up. On January 8, 2022, Klay Thompson made his long-awaited return against the Cleveland Cavaliers. The crowd roared, his teammates beamed, and the basketball world watched in awe as Klay scored 17 points in his first game back. He wasn't the same explosive defender. He wasn't gliding around screens like before. But he was still Klay, the shooter, the competitor, the warrior. He finished that season averaging 20 points per game and played a key role in helping the Warriors win their 4th championship in 8 years. Klay's return wasn't just about basketball. It was a story of mental fortitude, emotional strength, and the undying love for the game. His legacy was already built on records and rings, but this chapter showed us something even deeper. Klay became the embodiment of perseverance. He had every reason to walk away, but he chose to fight. And let's not forget what made him great in the first place. His conditioning was legendary, running over 2.5 miles per game. His defense was elite, often guarding the best perimeter player every night. He didn't just shoot, he locked people down. B-Ball Index gave him a matchup difficulty score consistently over 92.6, meaning he always drew the toughest defensive assignments. And offensively, he became arguably the greatest catch-and-shoot player of all time. Since 2014, he's led the league in catch-and-shoot points. His off-ball movement, perfected by studying Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, and Rip Hamilton, was more effective thanks to his size and length. But here's the difference. He wasn't just a student of the game. He surpassed his mentors. Statistically, Thompson scores 1.25 points per possession on threes off screens, the same value as LeBron James scoring in transition. That's efficiency at an all-time level. And all of it without dominating the ball. In the end, when you look at Klay's resume, 5-time All-Star, 4-time NBA champion, all-defensive team selection, multiple scoring records, it's clear, Klay Thompson wasn't just part of the Warriors dynasty. He was the glue that held it together. He's a rare breed, a silent killer, a man who let his game do the talking. In an NBA full of flash and flair, Klay stood out by staying true to who he was, disciplined, fearless, and absolutely deadly from beyond the arc. And while his prime may be behind him, his legend will echo in NBA history forever. Not just as one of the greatest shooters of all time, but as a warrior in the truest sense of the word.